All right, welcome back to this video on my advice on how to get off of opiates. The third one we're going to be talking about is medical detox. Now, in my experience, I find that this route is the best way to go and having the best chances of getting up off of opiates long term. And I'll explain why. But it's the hardest way to go, and let me explain to you why. Trying to gonna try to break this down in two parts, two main situations on how to do this. So the reason why medical detox is a harder way to go is because of the price. It's very expensive. Now, I don't know if insurance will cover it these days. Things are always changing, so you can look into that. But at least back in the day when I did medical detox, it cost, and this was like 15 years ago, it was $500 a night. And that was on the cheap side. Now, basically, what medical detox is that you're going to go to a hospital setting where you're going to have like a 24-hour, you know, uh, nurse, medical care. Someone's going to monitor you, and they give you like a cocktail drugs that you're going to take. And basically, what these drugs do is that they prevent you from going through withdrawals. I can't remember every single drug they gave me, besides Suboxone, which we mentioned earlier in the last video. But whatever they give you, they pretty much just knocks you out. And to be honest, when I did it, I barely remember anything. Now, the one I went to was a 10-day program, but again, $500 a day. So at that time, my parents paid for it, and we decided just to do it half, only do it for 5 days, which came out to 2,500 bucks. And to be honest, when I was done with it, I pretty much skipped over the major parts of the withdrawal. Now, because I only went through halfway, I still felt some pain afterwards, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. Mostly just muscle ache and a lot of cravings and things like that. But all the major symptoms like cold sweats and vomiting and nausea, I didn't go through it. Um, but as far as the drugs they gave me, I don't know, but I know they had to give me some type of sleeping aids or maybe benzos. I felt very drowsy. Felt very just out of it. I had a lot of brain fog. I don't remember. I just remember bits and pieces of it. But I do remember not feeling any pain whatsoever. So going through this route is the easiest, in my opinion, and it gets you off that first hump, that big first hump, which is um, the withdrawal process. Now, because you're spending this much money on it, if you decide to do it out of pocket, then I would definitely have some type of rehab set up or something, some kind of intervention where you can get help because you don't want to spend all this money for nothing and then you just get back on right on drugs. I mean, then you just wasted 2,500 or $5,000 or whatever how much it's going to cost. So be prepared, at least prepare yourself to enter some type of rehab facility, um, and and um, and so your money doesn't go to waste. The second part, and this is going to be a very specific, unique situation, so this is definitely not going to apply to most of you. But I'm going to tell you my experience because I was able to go through it. Now, the last time around when I was going through my addiction, I caught a bad infection and I ended up going to the hospital. And it was so bad that they actually had to admit me, and I ended up being there for for almost 4 months. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because when I went in there, I told them I was addicted to opiates, and they said no problem, and they weaned me off. And it was sort of kind of like the same thing with the other medical detox I went through, that they gave me a cocktail drugs, put an IV in me, make sure I was hydrated, and for like a week, I don't remember much. I just slept most of the time, and I had to get up a few times here and there to answer some medical questions. But other than that, I just went back to sleep, and I did this for nearly 7 to 10 days. And when I was done with the 10th day, um, they ended up putting me on, I think, Percocets and then Norcos. And around a month, they tapered me off. And about a month later, I stopped doing it completely. And during that time, I did not feel any withdrawals whatsoever. So that's the second part, is to be able to get medical detox in a hospital setting if for any reason you're going to a hospital. Now, I say this because it's very common for opiate addicts who uses needles to develop infections. So if you got some type of bad infection, which is very common in that world, and you decide to go the hospital route and you get admitted, that's definitely a good way to get off of opiates and let the insurance pay for it. My insurance, Medi-Cal, paid for the whole thing, and I didn't have to pay for anything. And so after a month, when they finally totally took me off of opiates, when the fourth month came and I was completely clean, I decided, you know what? I did not feel any pain this time around going through the withdrawals. Why get back on it? And of course, during the hospital stay was one of the most miserable time I ever had. So I might talk about that in another video. But anyway, so that's when I decided to stay off, and it's been, over 5 years since the time I'm doing this video. So, anyways, medical detox, that would be the best way to go, and in my opinion, the most successful way. But it's also the hardest way, financially. Anyways, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And thanks for watching.